YouTube, LMS Tactical here. Trying something new here. I'm filming you with a GoPro camera, and because it's in a waterproof case, I'm not sure that you even can hear me, so I'm going to talk extra loud. This is a test case here, so I'm testing out the mount. Testing out the mount, I'm testing out the sound, all of it, just seeing if I want to go to that as opposed to my cell phone. Okay, so where have I been? That's a good question. I always have an excuse, and today is no different. First of all, I hope everybody's doing good. I've been in the middle of a couple of things, not the least of which is a major remodeling thing going on at the compound. So that means my office, we're replacing all the floors with wood and tile, so my office was completely taken apart, my computer disassembled. And because of that, I just have not had the time nor the equipment really to produce any kind of video. So, as usual, I'm turning this thing on without any idea of what I'm going to say. So let's just see what happens. There's been so much going on in the news that if I had to pick one topic, I don't know if I could. I might as well start with my condolences to the family and friends of, the Virginia news reporter and the photojournalist that was executed by the racist black guy. There's a lot, I'm sure I haven't even checked YouTube, but I'm sure there's a million videos on that. And I know there's a lot of lessons learned, a lot of questions people have. I did catch, just through social media, some of the things that were initially being asked were questions like, how did they allow this guy to come up on him so close? Some people thought it was fake, false flag stuff. I mean, come on, guys. You got to draw the line somewhere, man. I mean, anybody that thinks that was not a real shooting needs to adjust their medication, and I mean that with all due respect. So, yeah. I mean, let's just tackle them as they come up. I've seen lots of documentaries, spoke to combat photographers, and I've read books on combat photography, and people that do journalism in combat zones, and all of them agree, and I can fully understand that when you are looking through a camera, this is to explain how the camera guy was oblivious. You're in a tunnel vision world. Everything is in that lens is your world at the moment, and you're just not aware of your surroundings. So I get that. As far as the female goes, and I'm sorry I can't remember her name, Katie, I think. I'm sorry, but I watched the video that the guy shot, that the asshole shot with his cell phone. I don't even know if there's no viewfinder. Well, it's in the back. But she actually did look at the suspect very briefly, and whether or not she was able to see that he was carrying a gun or whatever, I'm sure she didn't expect him there. She knew the guy had trouble with him in the past. She was in the middle of doing a job, so she tunnel visioned in on that. I cut them slack. Look, if that was one of us, the people that are completely, constantly aware of situational awareness, aware of our surroundings, and, we never make mistakes, I'm being facetious. Yeah, okay, it would have been nice to lunge at the guy the minute you saw the threat. And that's really, that's probably the big takeaway from this one, is, you can never tell when some dude's a total nutcase. I mean, everybody knew this guy was an asshole, but, what can you do with that information? You can't lock a guy up just because he's an asshole. There'd be nobody on the streets but me. So, I don't know what the answer is. I do know that if you are ever in a similar situation and you happen to glance up and there's a guy with a gun that close, as close as he was, lunge at him and go 250%, just like the guys on the train in France. We'll talk about that in a second. It's your life, man. Don't worry about getting shot. Like I've said a million times, with today's technology, 99% medical technology, 99% of the time, you're going to be able to survive a bullet wound. Okay, we've got fast response in terms of 911 and medical response. You know, if you're not shot in the head, you get shot in the upper body somewhere, you know, suck it up, fight the gun away from the guy, kill him, do whatever it takes to stop the threat, and focus on teaching your mind to not give in to your injury. If you look down and you see a lot of blood and you think, I'm dead, I'm going to die, there's no way out of this, you'll convince your body to give up the fight, and you will die. People have died that were shot in the arm with non-life-threatening wounds because they were so convinced that if they ever got shot, they would die. So don't be one of those guys. You know, you're going to live forever. I mean, I've seen suspects that literally, I watched the guy with no heart. It was blown out through the back of his, literally, right out of his back. And I watched him run a city block in Los Angeles before he dropped dead. He was just a fucking gangbanger that was literally too stupid to even think that just because I have no heart doesn't mean I'm not alive. You know what I mean? He was just so focused on getting away from the cops. Man, if we could just harness that kind of mentality that some of the idiots have. That's why suspects live all the time and cops don't. Sometimes there's a little bit too much knowledge that can get you killed. You know, oh, that's fatal. Ain't no way out of that. Well, of course, if that's what you think, that's what's going to happen. So, you know, the brain controls the body. Never forget that. Yeah, give it your all. Make sure you focus on the barrel of the weapon. Make sure it's not pointing anywhere except at his face or in a safe area. And remember what I talked about regarding gun takeaways and shit, that chances are, because you fought a gun away from somebody, there's a good chance it's going to malfunction. A round went off, you didn't hear it because you're in the middle of a fight for your life. And because your hand was over the slide, you don't feel the burn, adrenaline going, maybe you got a double feed. So never assume that because you got the suspect's gun in your hand now that it's functional. What I like to do is tap and rack just to make sure. You know, I haven't been in that situation, but I'm talking about that's what I teach myself in my mental preparation as I go through these scenarios. Building my muscle memory in my brain in terms of what I'll do should that terrible event ever come. Now, I want to talk a little bit about these three heroes on the train in Europe. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but maybe I'm getting soft in my old age, but it brought me to tears, man. I was so proud of these guys. They did everything that I've tried to talk about on my tactical videos in terms of going 200%. You know, they saw this fucking guy, whether the weapon malfunctioned or whether he was having problems loading it again or reloading it. They knew there was a threat. No bullshit, no discussion. One of them said, let's go. This other hero goes over there. They tackle. They're fighting. He chokes him out. The guy pulls a box cutter out, cuts his thumb off, I believe, or at least 90% of the way off. And instead of laying there going, oh my God, my thumb's off, he still managed to render this dude unconscious. They tied him up with people's ties and shit. They were being creative. Shirts. And then the guy with the thumb hanging off goes over to a French guy that's bleeding out through a arterial injury from around and can't figure out how to stop it, so he sticks one of his fingers into the guy's neck and plugs up the hole. I mean, what a fucking hero, man. That's, God damn it, it just, nothing against you French people out there, but fuck, man, I just couldn't be prouder. And I understand there was a Brit involved too, but let's face it, you Brit, you rode on the coattails of the fucking Yanks on that day, brother. That was an American victory, and God bless them all. That's what you do. It's your life. Don't give it up easy. You fight for it. Anyways, glad to be back. Hope you're all doing well, and I'll talk to you sooner than later. LMS Tactical, I'm out.